How's it going, everyone? This is another update on my box magazines. It's been a while, but there was no magazine fed only games around my area for a while, so I had to wait to go to a field. Thankfully, today at SC Village, a group of people were renting out mag-fed markers and stuff. They were super cool dudes. I cannot remember the name of them, but if I remember, I'll let you guys know. Awesome, super friendly. Let me use their T15 guns to test out my box magazines. I still don't have a shooting video because I did run into some problems that should be easily fixed. I'll be explaining them in this video, and I will be making fixes for them. And then hopefully pretty soon I'll have a shooting video for you guys. So first off, I want to start off with basically what was happening is I would dump in the paint and fill them not all the way up, but you know, good ways, and feed them in. And what would happen is they would start feeding through the bottom, and they'd get about halfway, well, not halfway, a little more than that. They'd get about in this area, and then they'd start slowing down a little bit. And what I believe it is the combination of pushing that many balls up through to the magazine and the pressure of the paintballs being down on the drive made it harder for it to push the balls up, because these halo markers, or not halo markers, I'm sorry, the halo drive systems are meant to push the balls downwards. So it's a lot easier, you know, to push something down than it is to push it up. So what I did is I put, like, you know, good handful of paintballs in there, and on this one, my first one, and turned it on, let it cycle through, and then I dumped another good handful in, and I tapped on the side to make sure the soundboard was activating, and it pushed them up, and then I held the release button down and tapped on it again, and it just shot them up like it was, like, very easily. So what I'm going to try and do is, instead of having this two-piece system, I'm going to try and cut out another one and make it all one piece, and that will help a little bit with this small shifting problem. It wasn't really a big deal, it's just, but if it can become a deal, I'd like to eliminate that problem before it, you know, becomes a problem. So I want to do that, and then right here in the middle of where it would be at, I want to make some sort of like a bridge, like yeah, something that bridges from here, comes up a little bit, comes over, and then comes down, and have it slided or slanted on the sides. That way the balls will roll down and continue to feed in, and then just have small, like maybe one or two small vents so the balls will go through, and it has a little bit of support in the middle, and that way it eliminates the pressure of at least 100, 200, 300 balls coming down on the center of it, and it can just drive and push the balls in freely as some more come in. So as it gets lower, as you start to run out of balls, you may need to shake it a little more, but you kind of have to do that with most box magazines anyways, so it shouldn't be too bad. And because of me having to do that, I will most likely, I went to the store and got some plexiglass. So because of the fact that I'm going to have to make this modification, I will most likely add that plexiglass right here in the center, so you can see how many balls there are, and to see if you may need to shake it one way or maybe a little other, just to get the last few balls in before either reloading, or if your field doesn't allow you to reload in mag-fed only games with the box magazine, well then, you know, you're pretty much out. But most people don't go through 400 or 500 paintballs in a mag-fed only game anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. So that was this one. This one seems to be having the same problem as well in regards to so much pressure on the drive whenever it is filled up to the max. So what I'd like to do is get something that's probably about this much over length and set it down in there to where it's coming from about here and just comes over here, so that way the balls have to shift over before rolling in, and that will once again eliminate the pressure on the drive. This one also, I believe, has a small plumbing problem, and when I say plumbing problem, I mean I think the balls are getting a little snagged, or maybe a little bit harder to force the balls through here in this corner, unlike this one where it is a little bit more open and the 90-degree goes from the magazine to a 45 and then into there, so it's a little less, I believe, congested, where this is a more compact system, so it's just a straight 90-degree elbow and then to the 45 degrees. But I also believe what is causing the problem is that when I made this drive, I cut the pipe pretty short to help make it to where it's easier of a toolless design, so that way it pops out easier from the elbow. So what I'm going to try and do is cut another small piece of copper pipe and just slide it in there and glue it into place, because it's going to be hard to remove it anyways. And just glue it into place, because what I think it is hold on a second. What I believe it is these balls are a .68 caliber, as you know, everyone knows. But this copper tubing is a 3/4 or a .75 diameter tubing, but on these elbows right here, it's even wider. So that way you can slide the copper tubing into it. And the problem is not necessarily in the beginning, but I believe it's in this small area right here where there's not enough, because as you can see, oh, well, that didn't work. As you can see, there's a lot of wiggle room for the ball to, go to the side, and it's quite a bit when you only have it in the drive, or I should say in the copper tubing, and you have it right there. There's not a lot of wiggle room, or at least not as much. It's kind of hard to get the right angle. I mean, there may be like maybe a 1/16 worth of wiggle room, but not enough to make it to where if balls are being forced through, for the balls to offset and create basically a jam. And this would be really bad, especially for any paint that is dimpled or just brittle, because then when one ball is trying to go through and there's another ball on the side and it's putting pressure on it, it can break the balls a little bit easier. So I had quite a bit of breaks with this one especially. So I'm going to try and eliminate that and make another little platform for the balls to roll off of, and then same thing for this one. Hopefully that will eliminate the problems, and I'll also be putting some plexiglass in this one as well, if I can. Once again, it's a little bit more compact, so it's a little bit harder to do this. But anyways, so that's just a little bit of an update. Other than that, everything else still works. The boards are all good. They activate real well with sound and everything. So I will get back to you guys once I fix these problems. So thank you for those who are still following and still supporting. So thank you.